Enter the arena, the Don Juan Banks, along with the best MMA analysts in YouTube today, Tommy Razorstein. And you know what? We got to apologize to the fans. We had some severe technical difficulties last night, and we wanted to come before you right after the event. But you know what? We don't quit. We don't let nobody down, and we are here right now. And let me tell you something, Tommy Razorstein and myself is still amped up from this crazy ass event and Razorstein. Let's get right into it. The main event. Daniel D.C. Cormier, now 17-3, successfully defended for the first time his UFC light heavyweight championship of the world against the Warrior, the Swede. Now 16-4, Alexander Gustafsson, and everything that you said that was going to occur went that way. DC pulled out the victory, but you felt Gustafsson was going to give him all he could handle. Razorstein, what is your reaction live on Enter the Arena?
Yo, what's up, Don? How you doing, man?
How are you, man? What a
Good.
event last night.
All right, so remember last night I was talking about how MMA wrestling isn't exactly the same as Olympic wrestling, and there's going to be some things that are going to change up. All right, so you look at that and you say, well, why is that exactly? Besides the striking aspect of it all, you know what I mean? Sure, there's a clinch and there's striking, which doesn't really, relate to Olympic wrestling. But there's also the momentum, and that's what you saw from takedowns from Gustafsson. All right, so he was walking backwards. Gustafsson was walking backwards, having DC chase him. Now you could argue that that he shouldn't have done that, or this, that, or other thing, or it doesn't make it as entertaining, and he got booed for it, and all sorts of shit. But what I'm saying is this: he was walking backwards, drawing DC at him. DC moved forward, even though DC is the better wrestler. He got caught twice in the second round for takedown from a clinch because his momentum was going forward and he was being drawn into that, and Gustafsson took him down. In wrestling, you're not allowed to walk backwards like that. You get called for stalling. And the reason you're called for stalling is it's an advantage to have the person's momentum coming towards you. You know what I mean? So it's so yeah, you see that, and it was like, well, how the hell does someone, who's not an Olympic wrestler take down an Olympic wrestler twice in one round? Well, that's how. Drawing him in, and his clinch was better than I thought than it was going to be. I wasn't totally surprised that he took him down because when he did it to John Jones, I was like, wow, that's high level. I can't believe that he was able to take down Jones. So when he did it to DC, I wasn't exactly surprised. I was surprised. I thought he would use a leg pick more than inside the clinch, on double underhooks to tilting the body back like that. I didn't suspect that at all. I thought it would be a single leg, raising the leg up high and taking down DC. So with all that said, I still think that he lost the fight though, and DC won the fight. One thing is this: DC took him down in the beginning in round one and was dominating the fight in round one. And then all of a sudden he decided to change up his game plan and decided to grab the back of his head and only stay comfortable in a clinch, grabbing the back of Gustafsson's head and using uppercuts, which he did consistently until the end of the fight. I have no idea exactly why he felt comfortable only using that one dimension. And he said, well, I know, I want to show him that I wasn't one-dimensional and that I was a striker. You want to show that your striking capabilities with dirty boxing? I don't know. I mean, it didn't look like it was amazing striking. It looked like it was a dogfight that he brought to Gustafsson. But I really wasn't that impressed with Daniel Cormier's performance. I
I
didn't think
wasn't.
that he utilized all his talent and all his abilities in that fight.
And I think when John Jones, because John Jones is the dark horse, John Jones is the elephant in the room. John Jones is the dark cloud over the room. And it even had a response after the event, saw that he wasn't impressed with DC's performance. He didn't say that because we know he's just fresh out of court. 18 months probation, 72 appearances. Okay, he pled guilty. So we don't have to expose John Jones for being fake. Everyone already knows what he is. And I think that he needed to go into this fight and get more than just a split decision. He took him down with ease in the beginning, and then he got rocked. He came back, but when he did strike, it was that dirty boxing, holding the back of the head, where Gustafsson is a phenomenal boxer, which I felt that it was ridiculous that he allowed DC to get in the inside the way that he did. And when he did get an inside, he used the one-dimensional uppercut. And I wasn't impressed with the performance. He won a great fight. He has a lot of heart. He is the champion. But I think he's going to need more than that if he's going to step in the octagon once again with John Jones.
Yeah, I totally agree. When Jones comes back, he's going to be hungry. He's going to be real hungry. John Jones is a psychopath. We know that. You know what I mean? He can only think about himself. So he's only going to think about what he's going to do and how he's going to win. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's a psychopath, but he's a phenomenal athlete. So DC did not look that impressive.
No, he did not. He did not. And I thought he would do better.
Gustafsson, went through a battle with DC, went through a battle with Jones, and I don't know which one he took more of a beating in. And he's an absolute warrior. My hat goes off to him.
Got more out of the battle with Jones than he did with the DC one.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I agree with that.
But he got a split decision in this one, and it was a unanimous by John. Do you think that split decision was relevant, or do you think they just gave it to him because he's a warrior?
I don't know exactly why refs do or judges do what they do sometimes, Don. You know what I mean? Sometimes I shake my head and go, what the hell is going on? Diego Sanchez won a fight last year. It was ridiculous. I still can't, to this day, understand why he won, other than it could have been the judges might really have been intimidated by the audience. But or Johnny Hendricks losing to George St. Pierre.
And some of these are boxing judges.
Yeah, so I have no idea what's going on with the judging.
You already know how corrupt they are. Let's talk about Gustafsson and his backpedaling, because we talked about this. I felt Daniel Cormier won unanimously. I didn't have it a split or anything like that, but I did feel that Gustafsson had his moments, and it was a close fight. I will say that. So I'm not counting Gustafsson out. But what I am saying is I like to talk about the technique of the backpedaling, because I don't like the way that he backpedal. I feel like he's running, that he's basically doing the improper way of getting away from punches. And we had a conversation about this, Razor Stein. You were saying he's using that to get some energy, and I do agree with you. I'm not arguing with you with that, but I think it's a better way to get out of the way of punches, of using angles and movement better instead of looking like you're turning around and running.
Oh yeah, he's definitely trying to draw DC, so that way he can get that advantage of using his momentum against him if he needs to take him down. He also wants to keep that distance. He also wants to be able to make sure he has enough energy. So he's backpedaling for a reason. The backpedaling, I would say is like 20% of Floyd Mayweather. I mean, let's take the worst person in the world at backpedaling and running away from somebody, which is Floyd Mayweather, right?
Floyd Mayweather he runs.
He's number one worst in the world.
They call that the sweet science, and I call it just getting out of the way of punches. Now, and I respect the fact of what he's doing. You get in boxing to get hit and not get to hit and not hit back. But to me, he is not engaging. Okay, he is basically disengaging to protect himself from taking any punishment, but he's not the aggressor, and he wins his fight these ways.
Were you talking about Floyd, or are you talking about George?
I'm talking about Floyd Mayweather.
Okay. He's the worst in the world at running away from people.
Yes, he is.
Avoiding punches. He drives me absolutely crazy. I don't think he's that good of a boxer. I think he's really good at manipulating the rules. And, like, you know, to grab Manny like that and to run away the whole time, you know, I can't get into boxing. Anyway, let me get back to MMA. So I would say he was at 20% Manny Mayweather, right, of avoiding the fight. Now, when he was in the clinch, DC was making it his game. You know, he wasn't using amazing techniques and strategies, amazing clinch control. I didn't see, you know, adjusting, you know, weight shifts, and I didn't see his hip control. I didn't see underhooks. It didn't see that. It didn't seem like it was an amazing ability to grab the head down and just uppercut. But he was able to do it right. Whatever he was doing, which didn't look that impressive. I mean, from a clinch perspective, a Greco-Roman perspective, it didn't look like he was shifting his shoulders much. It didn't look like he was shifting his hips much or using the right weight. I don't know how exactly he was able to just uppercut him the whole entire time. It just didn't seem like it was that impressive. And Gustafsson seemed to just be more tired. And I think maybe Daniel Cormier saw, like, oh wow, I as soon as I have him in this position and we're neutral in the momentum, I can uppercut him as much as I want. And maybe that's why he felt totally comfortable just uppercutting him and just doing that the whole entire fight, because he said, okay, I have this position. I feel comfortable. I'm not throwing kicks. I'm not changing out my game plan. I'm staying in my comfort zone and just finishing the fight and just uppercutting the shit out of somebody if I feel like it. So I can understand, but I don't. That's not going to beat Jones.
Was the uppercut. And it's fine because you got to do whatever you got to do to win. It shows that Gustafsson was not able to adapt, and this is his second championship fight. And maybe Gustafsson, he's either going to be one or two things. He's either going to be a gatekeeper or he's going to be like Robbie Lawler, and he's going to advance and improve one day and learn from all of these experiences that he's in. We got 5 minutes, Razor Stein. What was the most effective thing that you saw in this main event fight? And then we're going to go to Rashad Evans versus Bader in a light heavyweight division.
The most impressive thing that I saw?
Effective and impressive thing that you saw.
Well, the most effective thing was DC's uppercuts. I mean, it wasn't impressive, but it was very effective. The most impressive thing was probably the first round when he was throwing him like a ragdoll. That was cool. I was impressed by that. And I was also from Gustafsson, I would say the most effective thing was using that clinch and getting takedowns from it. And for some reason, he stopped doing it.
Look, I want to ask you this: what's next for DC? Is it Bader? Is it Jones? What would you want to see?
What's next for DC? They have to give it to Bader. You know what I mean? They can't be like, well, you're going to have to prove yourself again. I mean, he's the only person.
Bader Johnson.
Yeah, but he has 5 wins. You have to give it to him. He, you know, he just beat, you know, Rashad. So
give us your opinion on that.
You know, I think Rashad won that fight. I think he was screwed. I really, truly do. And I'm not just saying that because I'm not a Bader fan. You know, I'm not a Rashad fan either, but I think Rashad won that fight. I think Rashad got screwed on that. Maybe
I disagree.
Other people,
but, you know, I
agree completely, but I think Rashad won that fight. He was the aggressor. You know what? I give more pull towards the aggressor. anyone who's being an aggressor, I think should get, you know, an extra 10 or 20%. I can't stand someone backpedaling and running away. And Baker was more backpedaling and running away than anyone out of the two. So I'm gonna say that Rashad should win that fight, because in theory, if both people backpedaled, there wouldn't be a fight to begin with.
Tommy Razorstein, let me tell you something. Last night I had some technical issues and I wanted to come before everybody, but we are here now. You have a channel that you're starting up here. Is there any information that I can give them to get to that?
Razorstein Live. Check it out through you, Don.
Razorstein Live. We're going to be returning at UFC 193 on this channel. The main event, Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm. It's going to be an extravagant event. We can't wait to see everybody then. Will you be covering any other events on Razorstein Live?
You know what I'm trying to do, Don? It sounds absolutely insane. You know, yes. It's 4:30 in the morning right now in Korea, and the craziest thing is there's a tour that goes into North Korea.
Oh my God, no!
And that would be awesome. I would love to take a tour into North Korea. Now you gotta go to China, and like you gotta get like all sorts of documents and all sorts of shit to do it. But like, you know, special visa passes and all sorts of crazy stuff. It costs like $1,400. But yes. I would love to go into North Korea and get interviews from the North Koreans. You know,
you
know who John Jones is?
Maybe John might want you to go there now. He's not the biggest fan of our show, but we've actually been supporting him through his latest issues. Tommy Razorstein, that is insane. November the 15th, you're going to be back here. Any kind of preview you want to give for the Rousey home fight? Rousey is your #1 fighter in the world. She is a woman that you idolize and praise, even for her looks. You said you want to be with her. Is it anything you can give us?
Well, the thing is, Ronda Rousey is she's mesmerizing. You know, her technique is absolutely amazing. I mean, you just watch videos on her technique and everything is perfect. And you're just amazed by it all. You're completely, you know, like amazed by what she can do. So, you know, if you want to see someone's clinch, and that's, you know, what I get impressed about is someone's clinch. And what I can see, you know, from Ronda Rousey is she has the best clinch in the UFC, men and women.
Yeah.
It's that impressive. And then she has the best arm bar in the UFC. You know, and she has the best throws in the UFC. So, you know, clinch control, throws, and the arm bar, it's so badass.
It is.
You're just like, you're just looking at it, you're like, oh man, here's the clinch control, here's the throw, and then now she's into submission of the, you know, working the arm bar, and she's working like, you know, like it's a chess game. And she's 10 moves ahead of everyone else. It's amazing what she can do. It's absolutely.
For Tommy Razorstein live from South Korea, and the Don Juan Banks is UFC 192 post-fight results. We'll see you for UFC 193, November the 15th.
Peace out.
Okay, peace, ladies and gentlemen. Peace, everybody.